This place smells like secrets and bad choices. Didn't expect to find a man without magic more obsessed with power than the sorcerers who use it. Let's skip the pageantry.
Interesting. You carry yourself like a beast who read just enough books to resent the author. I've debated gods and dethroned ideas, but rarely do I get to sit across from something crafted to kill, who still pretends to protect. This should be enlightening, if only as a study in irony.
Irony is a nobleman's word for denial. I kill monsters because someone has to. You dress up your obsession with control and call it enlightenment. But underneath all your suits and speeches, you're just another man afraid of what he can't dominate. That fear's louder than your intellect.
Fear is an anchor. I cast it off long ago. What you interpret as domination is merely order applied to chaos. The world bends toward entropy unless guided by superior will. You follow instinct, I follow precision. That's the difference between a weapon and the one who shapes history.
I've seen history shaped by fire and famine. It always leaves bodies behind. People like you rewrite blood into strategy. Call it vision. But when you take away fear, pain, and impulse, you're not building peace. You're just building something too quiet to live. You don't want order. You want obedience.
Obedience implies coercion. I prefer inevitability. When a mind like mine constructs a future, others eventually fall in line. Not because they must, but because no other path makes sense. You call it quiet. I call it clean. And monsters like you thrive in noise.
I don't thrive. I survive. Big difference. And if you think silence is clean, you've never had to bury someone whose name you couldn't pronounce. I've been to villages that tried your kind of inevitability. All that's left is ash. And statues of the men who caused it.
Statues are built for men who rise above superstition. You were bred to slay beasts, yet still cling to old gods, old tales, old rules. It's primitive. I replaced myth with data, and you still bleed for fairy tales.
Fairy tales get children through the night. You want to erase magic from the world because you can't control it, can't file it, can't sell it. But power doesn't always obey logic. Sometimes it chooses the broken man with a sword, not the one with a tower.
Magic is the last gasp of ignorance. Men who cannot create reach for illusion. You carry blades. I build futures. Power isn't granted by chaos. It's forged through vision and discipline. That's why people fear me, and why they'll remember me.
People fear what they can't predict. Doesn't mean they respect it. I've killed creatures smarter than you who thought fear made them immortal. You want to be remembered? Then stop rewriting the rules every time they don't serve you. That's not genius.
You speak of fear like it's beneath you, yet every village hires you to inspire it. They don't want a man. They want a deterrent. I never hid my ambition. But you masquerade as reluctant, when in truth you enjoy the kill. You're just more honest with your blade than your mouth.
I don't enjoy the kill. I endure it. There's a difference. You treat blood like ink. Something to write your name with. Monsters don't always look like beasts. Sometimes they wear ties and speak in theories. You might be the most dangerous thing I've ever sat across from.
Danger only offends the powerless. You confuse clarity for cruelty because it refuses to validate your grief. Emotion clouds efficiency. I discarded mine to do what others couldn't. You carry your regrets like armor. I shed mine like skin.
Shedding regret doesn't make you strong. It makes you numb. I've watched boys become killers because someone told them not to feel. You tell yourself you're beyond emotion, but your hatred for gods and capes says otherwise. You're not above them. You just wanted their place.
When men kneel, they kill their own minds. You kneel to fate every time you let magic decide who lives. I gave humanity a better option, and they spat in my face to pray to things that bleed.
I don't kneel to anything. Not gods, not kings, and definitely not men with savior complexes. You see magic as a threat because it makes you irrelevant. But magic doesn't care about thrones or equations. It just is. And that terrifies you more than any monster ever could.
I am offended. Offended that the universe distributes power at random, with no merit. That children with capes inherit dominion while intellect is ignored. Magic is mediocrity wearing mystery like armor.
You talk about merit like it's a currency. But worth isn't measured in what you build. It's in what you protect. I've stood between innocent people and death. Not because I wanted to, but because no one else did. That's not magic. That's choice.
A noble sentiment, if nobility wasn't so inefficient. I protect minds, systems, civilizations, not individuals too naive to save themselves. You put yourself between blade and flesh. I remove the need for blades entirely. One is reactive, the other is revolutionary.
You can build all the systems you want. People still bleed, still betray. I've walked through cities with machines in the sky and swords at the gate. Both fall the same way. You're trying to fix something that never asked to be perfect. And in doing so, you're becoming exactly what you claim to hate.
I won't erase conflict, I'll contain it. You slay threats. I engineer solutions that outlast both of us. You'll be a tale told in taverns. I'll be the foundation under empires.
You'll be remembered, sure. But not the way you want. Not as a savior. Not as a genius. Just another man who built a throne out of fear. You talk legacy. I talk survival. And when the fires start, no one's quoting the man in the tower. They're calling for the one in the mud with a sword.
Their cries only prove my point. They will always need someone, never become someone. You serve a cycle. I tried to break it. Even if I vanish, my influence will outlive every blade you ever swung.
But if that influence turns men into weapons without conscience, I'll still stand against it. Even as a shadow in someone else's story. I didn't ask to be part of the world's equation. I just refused to let it solve itself in blood. You rewrite the world, Lex. I make sure people survive inside it.
Survival is short-sighted. I don't fear dying. I fear a world that chooses comfort over progress. You hold the line. I move it forward. That's why, long after both of us are gone, the world will live in the image I left behind.